All right, guys. Is it the second week in January? Oh my gosh, 2021, second week in January. So hopefully everything is feeling a little bit more, I don't know. Is it crazy? Is it things kind of leveling out? Getting our feet underneath of us for a new month, a new year. All right, Mary, welcome. Amanda, Danielle, Dory, Leah. The highlight of my week is to see you guys. Sometimes we come tired, sometimes we come hungry, sometimes we come in the middle of chaos, but we show up. We show up, and that's the key, and that says a lot. And so I thank you guys for taking time out of your night. Like, everyone has so many different things going on in life and in schedules and all kinds of things, that I think it's awesome that we can just take a little bit of time once a week and meet here and connect with each other, because it's so important. So tonight we're going to share, Leaders Retreat was last weekend, Super Saturday was last weekend. Some people had to listen when they were coming and going and doing all the things. Some of you I know were able to actually sit down and watch it. And so we're going to start tonight with just letting a few of the people that went to Super Saturday got to tune into that. I know Dory said she would share, and I think Nicole was going to share her takeaways from Super Saturday. Doesn't need to be long, but I would love to hear some of your takeaways. And if anyone else wants to share anything, feel free to do that. I think that there's so much amazing training. And gosh, if you guys didn't print out the workbook, definitely go back and do that. You can save that as a PDF. But there's great social media post tips in there and everything. So kind of like what we were talking about last week, when I shared, you could go onto Pinterest and search like a month of social media post ideas. And then here we printed out the Super Saturday, and there it is right there. Great social media post ideas. I love it. So we can never say we don't have an idea. There's all kinds of things that you can talk about. And it doesn't have to be Plexus all the time, right? So anyways, Dory, do you want to go first and share some of your takeaways from Super Saturday? She's like, oh, sure, I got to go first.
You always do this to me. I'm like, don't ask me to go first. Okay, y'all, first I want to apologize for my little video that I posted today. And I am right on the board of being technologically not inclined. And so, I was really trying hard to do the whole toast thing, and actually got my husband to be my videographer, which was pretty hilarious. And so anyway, but I have no clue how to tag everybody and all that. But anyway, so then I did it again, and now I know. And so y'all just have to bear with me, because I'm doing the best I can. Best I can. I need a 5-year-old with me. Anyway, so my takeaway from the Super Saturday was the lead little acronym thing that she did, was the look and listen. And I've gotten really good about that, is to just listen to people. And, then of course in my mind, I'm like, they need MetaBurn, that kind of thing, to empathize and engage. And so when you hear that they've got weight gain and they're depressed and, these kind of things, and you've got it in your mind of what they should be taking, then to say, I can relate, and, and then add the value, is for me would be like, I can relate. Let me tell you about MetaBurn, because this is the problem solver. This is the solution to your problem. And then the digitize, I'm taking it as like, here, let me show you like our graphics. And I love that about our graphics. When they go in and they give you the highlights of what those products do, and help you with. I love that about that, because Lord knows when I'm in that mode, I get kind of I get so wrapped up into what's going on that only like 2 or 3 things come to my mind, instead of the 20 things that they do. But I'm trying to, pick them in conversation kind of quick, and I haven't been doing it long enough, I guess, that they just roll off my tongue so quick. But anyway, so I really like that. That's what I got about the Super Saturday.
Thank you. I love that as well. Such good training. Nicole, would you love to share your takeaway or takeaways?
Yeah.
You guys, I want to say something real quick. I used to puke Plexus. I mean, we're talking big vomit. And because we get so excited. So anyways, I've learned, you learn to pull back a little bit and take a little breath. All right. Sorry, Nicole, you can go.
You guys hear me? Okay, yes. I was having some audio issues. Yes, so my biggest takeaway, and it was very simple, was the onboarding, the engagement, and the app. Listening when they were talking about the first 90 days being the most important. And I was like, yeah, but I was also one of those that are like, oh, let's wait and see what the products do for me so I can say for sure this is what happened. But then I started thinking about what actually drew me in and got me to where I am right now, to where it has not been 90 days since I've joined, and how much I believe in it and why. And a lot of it is the engagement part of it. I mean, I'm huge in leadership development. My jobs have, depended on that. I know that to be true, but for some reason it didn't connect with Plexus until listening to that part. And I thought, yes, that's exactly what it was. I joined Plexus, 5-6 years ago. I don't even think I lasted a couple of weeks. And I was like, what is the difference from then until now? And it was the engagement. It was being a part of something that was way bigger. We get to see we have the group chat. You get information. I had Dory Cullen checking in. Hey girl, how's it going? How you feeling? It was a constant thing. And it was like, oh, well, this is how it's going. This is what I'm doing. And so it kept me going. I wasn't alone, and now I needed to be accountable, So that was the big one for me. And then I was like, okay. And then they have all these resources for us, like at our hand. We can copy and paste. I've used the app a lot more just in this week than I have prior. And I'm a big app person, so I downloaded it immediately, but I actually never used it. And so I have sent 2 samples off in the last 2 days. I'm talking to more people. All in that because I know that's what I needed. I needed to be a part of something. I needed friends that were doing the same thing, and we can celebrate together. We can, when I'm struggling, I have someone to reach out to. So I decided my team that I haven't done the best onboarding. I started off strong with the first 3, did all the steps, yay. The other 3, I got halfway through the steps, and then I was like, oh, they're just not as engaged. But then I have to ask myself why. And I think that was because I wasn't as engaged with them. They weren't my main people to where I felt comfortable with. And so this week I decided, okay, they're struggling on staying consistent, using the products how they should. Everyone wants the pink drink, but then, one of my girls is not taking the bio cleanse, and she's not doing the ProBio 5. And so I created a group chat, that starts off in the morning. Hey, let's get our day. Let's be the best that we can be. For those of you that are new, take this, and this. Those that are, advanced, take this and this. When you're complete, let us know, and everyone has responded. And so they seem to enjoy that. And so now I'm like, okay, now they're asking, oh, well, what's this other product that you're taking? Because I only have the triplex, so I'm starting to see, yes, that's what it takes. We need to feel engaged. We need to be a part of things, listening and being a part of Super Saturday, looking at just the amount of people that were on there, the amount of comments that were coming in. At one point, right in the beginning, it was already at 26,000 comments, and we were like into the second speaker, and I was just like, wow. And just seeing how much they're really putting into the company and empowering people. I think empowerment is huge. And yes, it's women, but no, it's men too. Like there's no gender, thing. It's not just for one gender. And I think that it is just great. So I think my biggest aha and takeaway was, yes, those 90 days are most important, because that determines whether we're going to be a customer, whether we're even going to take products, or we're going to be a part of something and want to grow. And so I think that's what I left with is, yes, I want to attend these meetings. So I had to switch around my schedule, because Tuesdays are usually my clients' days for work in the evening. And I was like, nope, you're now Monday. So I think it just changed that, yes, I too want to do some amazing things and be a part of amazing group of people.
That is incredible, incredible. And I love that, you recognized that they didn't seem as engaged, but you then asked yourself, well, am I engaged with them? And you, by looking at yourself as well, decided, like, you had a mind switch and you decided you were going to get them engaged. And look what you provided them. You're providing them your support, your community, and you're kind of having this little pep rally of like, we're going to do this. You're going to take your products because I care about you. You're going to get results. I want you to get results. You're going to love this. So I love how you re-engaged them. And it is so much about relationships, so much about that community and feeling of belonging and that. So I love it that you switched your schedule around. That's awesome. We all do that. We might be in the middle of something. We're like, okay, gotta get on our call. So that's awesome. I don't know if Mary, Leah, Amanda, any of you guys want to share any of your takeaways from Super Saturday. You can go ahead and unmute.
I know Marie will be back in a minute. She had to take baby to go potty.
Okay. That's an emergency. That's an emergency situation. Okay, well, we will kind of jump into talking about leaders. How was Leaders Retreat? Danielle experienced her first Leaders Retreat. Darn it that it wasn't live and in San Diego, California, like last year, but you know what? We had a good time anyways. It was a good time. So if you would like, you can share some of your takeaways. I know that we were sitting here and she got to see me really get excited. I think we both agree Dr. Henry Cloud was one of our favorite highlights of the moment. And he was amazing. And she got to hear me scream out things. He would say something, I'd be like, yes! Or I'd slap my leg and be like, she's like looking at me. But I mean, we also like fed off of that energy with each other because she'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, yeah. We were just like, can we just please listen to him every single day? He is the new doctor on our doctor advisory board, Dr. Henry Cloud. He's got amazing, amazing books. And he's a psychologist. And oh my goodness, amazing, amazing guy. So I'm going to let Danielle share some of her takeaways, and we might go back and forth a little bit because we both had several really good ones. But we also want to stay on time with our call. So I'll give the mic to you.
So Dr. Henry Cloud, first of all, has the most beautiful eyes you could ever see. Instantly when I saw him, I was like, oh, look at his eyes. But he's an older guy, so it's just the eyes. He also is the author of the book of the month that for the Plexus Book Club this month. So I've never done the book club before, but after listening to him speak, at Leaders Retreat, I am doing the book club this month because I want to read his book. He was, like Tina said, I could have listened to him all day, every day. He was absolutely incredible. And the stories that he told, and yeah, he was just amazing. So he does a lot of like motivational speaking and training with like high level performers and entrepreneurs and business people. But the name of the book for the book club this month is The Power of the Other. And a lot of what he talked about was how your relationships with other people impact your performance. And so kind of like back to what Nicole was talking about with this, the community and that you feel like you're a part of something. So he told this story, and the book actually starts off with this story, which is really cool too, where his brother-in-law, who was a Navy SEAL, told him this story about when he was in, SEAL training, boot camp, whatever it is, where they go through Hell Week. And they basically like torture these guys to like the brink of death to see who is not only physically strong enough, but mentally strong enough to go through all of this. And so part of the last part of the training is that they have to do this like crazy, crazy long swim. And they get to the point where they are like about to drown, where their body just gives up. And he said his brother-in-law was on the beach and his partner was swimming, and his partner's body just gave out. He could not swim any longer. He starts looking around, panicked, like he is going to put his arm up and have someone come and save him because he's about to go under. His body will not work anymore. And he looks up and he connects eyes with his partner on the beach. And he hadn't made the choice to quit. His body literally wouldn't move anymore. And he looks up and he locks eyes with his partner on the beach. And his partner throws his fist in the air, pumps his fist and says, "Go!" And somehow, that was enough to make him get that final push. It took somebody else, it took that partner to push him when he had literally nothing left. And that's what got him through to the end. So that was one story he told about the power of the other. And then another,
I gotta say real quick,
yeah,
that just you retelling it, my arm has goosebumps because it speaks so much about, you guys, even if you think of someone sick in the hospital or anything like that, and that power of someone standing beside them and holding their hand and saying, "You got this, you're gonna fight." It's powerful to have those people in your life. And yeah, that story just, woof, just amazing.
Yep. And then another story he told about the importance of friendships and relationships and connection was they did this study with monkeys where they took a monkey and they put him in a cage and they made the most stressful environment possible. They had the cage rattling and strobe lights and loud music blaring and just stressed this monkey out beyond belief. And they drew his cortisol levels, his stress hormone, to see where it was at. They kept the same monkey in the same stressful environment, didn't change anything. The only thing they did was they took his monkey friend and they put him in the cage with him. Once they put the monkey friend in the cage with him, they redrew his blood and tested his cortisol levels again, and they had reduced by half. The only change was that his friend was there with him. He wasn't alone going through that stress, and that was enough to bring him down by half. So that's another. So then I turned to Tina and said, "You're my monkey." So who's your monkey, you guys? Who's the person that takes you down?
So I started picking at her. Like, you know how monkeys like
Yeah,
pick gnats from each other or whatever. Oh,
and
God.
it's true, when you know you're not alone and you know someone is doing this with you and feeling the same things as you, but you're doing it together, even if you're both stressed out to the max, even if you feel like you can't possibly do another thing, just having somebody there with you, just going along for the ride with you, makes all the difference. So yeah, the relationships are so important. So those were my biggest things from Dr. Henry Cloud. He was so interesting to listen to.
You know, and he'll be talking during the book club too. So that's what I'm looking forward to as well. Just like listening to him talk again. It will be great. So, and anything that I say, like if any of you guys think of anything else that, you know, like all of a sudden you think of something else that hit you, definitely just unmute and pipe in. Some of the things for me, and this kind of goes into the relationship thing again, I guess I'll talk about one of his, he had a ton of stories and we cannot even begin to tell the stories like he told the stories. I mean, his voice, his demeanor, like, I don't know, he just drew you in, and there's no way that I can possibly relay the same story the way he did or deliver it. But he told a story about a study that they did with, I guess, mathematicians, people taking very intense tests, right? Is that what it was?
It was college level mathematicians, like crazy, crazy smart math students.
Yeah, so they did this study where like group A grew up with very supportive fathers in their life. And they had another group B, grew up with very critical fathers, relationship struggles, and things like that. And during the intensity of the work that they were doing, they would have, I guess it was on the computer, and they were working their tails off on these tests and whatnot. And they would have the father's name flash on the computer, but it was not in a way that they actually realized that they saw it. It was like a subliminal little thing. It happened so fast that they didn't see it. They didn't go, oh my gosh, there's my father's name. So they did this test or experiment, and they found that when they did that, the group A that had the supportive fathers and that supportive influence and connection like that had more likely succeeded and started doing better in the work that they were doing. And the other group B, that had those negative experiences and negative relationships with their fathers, were struggling and had like a decreased performance if they saw that, once they saw that their performance just decreased. And so again, he was just basically saying how much relationships influence us. And I just thought that was amazing, because they didn't see their dad's name flash on the screen. I just thought that was a really amazing study. I was very wowed by that. I would love to hear maybe some more about that. But, you know, he was saying, surround yourself with positive, encouraging relationships while building your business to increase your performance. So no matter what kind of father you had, right now, we can choose to be around those positive and encouraging relationships, because that's what's going to help us to increase our performance. If we're around and choose to surround ourselves with negative people, our performance is going to go down, right? I mean, that's just, wow, this is just such an aha thing for me this week. So he had lots of stories. You guys, I have so many notes. I'm gonna like try to be short. Some of the things, I'm just gonna quote some of the things. Passion will draw people to you. Think about your passion. Are you passionate? Let's talk about unshakable belief. Unshakable belief. Unshakable. Do you have unshakable belief? If you don't, like, what are you listening to? Who are you spending time with? What are you reading? Set up boundaries of who you're speaking to. Boundaries for me in the last year has been a big, big deal. And I'm still working on it. Just having boundaries with where I'm spending time, who I'm spending time talking to, and being really super aware of what I'm doing and what I'm putting in my brain has been super helpful for me. Let's see, I gotta look at my notes because I want to just highlight some of the things that I highlighted here or talk about them. Do what activities drive the needle forward? Attend to what's relevant right in front of you all the time and block out the other distractions. So if you've got something that you need to do, pay attention to that one thing. He gave an example of a surgeon being in the surgical room, and to stay focused, always, a surgeon has the clock in front of them. They've got to know what time it is so that they don't harm their patient. So whatever you're working on, what's relevant, have it in front of you at all times. Use a calendar to schedule your time and create structure. Relationships and structure helps us develop control. What else do I have? This is a big one. This was like an aha moment too. Learning that what can I control and what can't I control. This has been an aha moment for me too. The key to success is focusing on what you have control of, not response or reaction. Be an attractive magnet. You will attract the people that you want to attract, right? If you're passionate, you're going to attract passionate people. Some try to talk rocks into swimming. Have you ever been trying to do that, you guys? Try to talk rocks into swimming? Yeah, we all have. Please, rock, I know you can swim. The rock just lays there. So stop trying to make rocks swim. Work on yourself. Work on everything that you can with yourself, because that's what we can control. We can't control the rock. We can't make the rock swim. He said, stop trying to make a noodle move uphill. I thought that was funny. If you're not thriving in your business or you're not thriving in your life, look at where your focus is. If you're not thriving, you're focused too much on all the things you cannot control. That's so true. If I think about when I'm worked up, it's because I'm focusing on things I can't control. And I have to say to myself, you can ask yourself two things. What can I control in this situation? My feelings, my thoughts, how I respond, typically. That's what I can control. Can I control what anyone else is gonna do? Nope, I can't. And he kept repeating this, you guys, and this was a big aha moment for us too. 3 things to focus on with our businesses that are super easy. And he repeated it probably 20 times. Have 3 conversations with people every day. Tell your story to them and ask them to take the next step. That might be a sample. That might be come to an event. That might be asking them to take the next step to jumping in and taking that leap of faith with you and getting healthier. And the way he said it was so simple. So we're getting rid of the verbiage of asks and reach outs. We're done. I might say it accidentally. But I feel like instead of saying reach out, to say, I'm going to have 3 conversations today. Oh my God, that just feels so much better. And it kind of goes in with Bob Heilig talks all the time about love, serve, grow. And that is the approach he uses, is having conversations with people. So we're having conversations. And I think that would help when we are onboarding people, when we're talking about, what 3 people do you know that have X, Y, and Z that we could have a conversation with? Not that we could reach out to. I think that'll help their mindset too. Like, oh, we could have a conversation with my mom. She struggles with diabetes, or she struggles with skin issues. It just changes the feel of it. At least it does for me, big time. 2 biggest factors that determine whether a goal is reached: the belief. The belief. Do you have belief that it can be done? Do you have belief that you can be diamond? Do you have belief that you can do what you want to do in this business? So we talked about an example of a toddler. A toddler starts trying to walk and they get up and they walk. They take 5 steps, they fall down, they take another couple steps, they fall down. Toddlers are busy, right? They don't give up. These toddlers are like, I'm going to walk. And next thing you know, this toddler's running down the hall and getting into everything. And mom and dad are like, oh my gosh, no, what? So the same thing, you might be asking yourself, can people actually build a business here in Plexus? It's because if you're asking that, you have your belief needs work done, but there's proof, right? Can people really build a business? So all we have to do is look all around us. Obviously, yes, it can be done. Look at everybody that's succeeding. You guys right here are succeeding. Yes, it can be done. And it's being done, right? Also, he talked about motivation. He said, you know, motivation can go up, motivation can go down, but it's all about prioritizing your activities. Get around the people that are perfect, great influences for you, that'll help push you, that'll be that guy that says, go, right? Or that's your monkey. Who's your monkey? And prioritize your activities, he said. You know, what's important tomorrow? What's important tomorrow? 3 conversations, telling my story and inviting them and asking them to try it. That's what's most important. Simple. Sounds so simple. Why can it be so simple? Because it is. And then he talked about just planning out your day. Like tonight, plan out what you're going to do tomorrow. Who you're going to read. Who are you going to have those conversations with? Who's on your heart? Who's on your mind? Really think about that and write them down. Are you an optimist or a pessimist? A pessimist might hear a no, and suddenly they're like, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Oh my God, people hate me. I can't even post. No one commented on my post. Oh my gosh, life's over. I totally just made a fool of myself. And they just go down this rabbit hole of negativity that no one's thinking anything. No one maybe even saw the post, but that's a pessimist. And an optimist does not let no make them quit. So he talked about be a steward of your thinking. Be a steward of your thinking. Fear is also important, and everyone's going to feel fear at times. And he kind of put it this way, get your fear working for you. Your fear can hold you back. It can make you quit, but it's totally up to you. High performers experience fear differently. We have fear of not hitting that rank up, missing out on that bonus, missing the promotion, missing that prize that we want so much. That's, you know, high performers. So you can see how fear can be differently. Also, he talked about how to change your how you interpret rejection. We all have rejection. If you haven't had rejection, you're going to have rejection. But he just said a couple of 3 tips was don't make it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. Don't make it pervasive. And 3 was don't make it permanent. Like it's not final. It's not final. Instead of using a failure and rejection to judge yourself, use them as an opportunity to always learn. So, anyone else want to share anything? Did anything else come to your mind? Those were some of mine, and that was a lot, and I have a lot more, but we're on a time schedule too. I loved it. I loved it, loved it. Looking forward to reading his book. Okay. I am going to stop record and then we're going to have our sprint huddle. Quick little sprint huddle. All right. So thank you guys. Those of you that might be catching this recording, comment below. Don't forget to go comment on the team sprint for January as well. So I'm going to push stop and we're going to continue here.